I'm a little better with a mouse and keyboard than I am with a controller.
Shocker, really. Okay, seems good. Mostly hit scan, tracer player?
Reverse now, mostly tracer, some hit scan.
Got it. Makes sense. Okay. Goals here, short-term want to hit Grandmaster. You're around Diamond, at least at the time of the forum. Long-term, maybe compete in OWCS or Collegiate. Okay. I feel like my understanding of the game is holding me back the most. I'm most often confused why I'm doing bad or I can't come up with solutions for my problems. What type of problems do you tend to or have you recently been running into?
Recently, it's been a lot of pre-fight stuff, like staging properly or like even just like being in a good angle for myself.
Sure.
I seem to struggle with.
Sure. Okay. But you're aware that that is something that you should be trying to do, correct?
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that's positive, right? You at least know that you're stupid. That's at least can be said for me. So, we were trying to figure that one along the ways. Now, what in particular, is it mostly with Tracer or is it hit scan as well?
It's mostly a tracer. I feel like my positioning when I play like Sojourn is, well, Sojourn's the easy character to position with, but like with her, it's much better. Maybe it's because I'm more comfortable mechanically with her than I am with Tracer.
Got it.
So maybe I'm thinking more about my mechanics on Tracer than I am.
Probably. Okay. Sleep looks good. Are you taking breaks between queues or in queues?
Usually I'm like, because when I usually play, the queues are like kind of long, so I'll like watch a video or talk to my friends, something like that. I'm not like lasered in on watching between games. Just
really quick, I would insert a 60-second break between each queue, like from getting away from the computer if possible.
Okay.
That would be a recommendation. Just to keep your energy high, focus high, biggest bang for your buck. Highly recommend that. Other than that, let's just jump straight into any questions you may have and or gameplay, if that works for you.
I don't have any questions yet, so I'll just drop code. It's a browser game.
Got it.
I think at the time of the forum, I was Diamond last season, and now I'm Masters 5 this season.
Nice. So, what's changed?
If you know. Better at Tracer, maybe?
What specifically on your Tracer do you think has improved?
I think last season, it was like the first time I started playing the character, so I had no clue what to do at all. And so I've just been watching like a lot of Tracer gameplay and like practicing mechanics of her.
Sure.
It's kind of helped out a bit.
Sure. Okay. Sounds good. Any particular questions with this character that you want to go over before we jump in?
Yes. So like say in the Tracer mirror, I know like a lot of like teammates will complain, oh, our Tracer's not marking their Tracer, but is it always right for me to mark their Tracer or is it beneficial to take my own angles?
Ask yourself, what is going to be the most beneficial position for me to take? What's the position that I want to take? And then do what that position allows you to do. If you look at the situation right here and you're like, oh, they have a Widowmaker, I should try to contest that Widowmaker. But you look at the way that you'd have to position to get to that Widowmaker and you go, I can't get there. Like, I can't do that. Then just play a different angle and pray that your team doesn't die to Widow.
Right.
You need to think strictly selfishly with your positioning and then do what that positioning allows you to do. Now, if you have a 50-50 choice, let's say that you're on the Widowmaker and they're on, I don't know, Sombra, Tracer, or whatever else, and you don't really care what angle you take. Kick It the Hell happens a lot, right? Where both angles can work. You would choose to mark because you'd prefer to keep the pressure from your backline. Right. But that's only because there's a truly 50-50 choice. If there's not a 50-50 choice, play strictly selfishly and do whatever your angle allows you to do best.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
That's it. Any other questions?
In maps with verticality like this, I know my pathing is just going to be longer. It's just like the nature of the map. Is it better to just take those slowly or try to like keep tempo with my monkey as much as possible?
Escort is both the curse of Tracer and both the blessing, because remember, your job is to pressure, correct?
Right.
From an angle. This is an angle. And this is also pressure.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
At some point, this becomes a problem that the enemy team has to deal with, and you can be the constant thorn in their side. And then it would become something that they have started to contest, and they start giving it resources, then find somewhere else to pressure. And by forcing them to come here, you'll have opened up lanes and angles with which you to contest with. Welcome to Tracer and Escort. The cart is often your angle. Not always, but often. Especially when your staging opportunities look something like this. What the frick am I doing with my life? right?
Right.
So nothing you can do. Go to cart. If that's something you're able to communicate with your team, great. If not, doesn't matter. Keep doing it anyway. At this point, you're already staged, so you might as well just stay, though, right?
I think I go kill the Orisa. Or
That's fine. But by stay, I mean don't drop to the floor necessarily.
Yeah.
What's the mistake here? Have you watched some of my Tracer VODs before?
Some.
Okay. Just see if any mechanical mistake here. Trust me, the payoff will be worth it.
Little trigger discipline.
Got it. I will appreciate that.
Better at that.
Yeah. The initial blink was good though, right?
I
Turn the
think I
corner
showed
blink.
A little too much.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too much, but I respect it, right? Yeah, trigger discipline needs to be better. Same thing here. I'd say the more aggressive the movement is happening on your screen, / the harder the target is to hit. I mean, it's basically the same thing, right? The slower and the more tight your trigger discipline needs to be. Good angle. Good blink usage. Nice shot. Tracer and escort.
Right.
It's good though. It's really helpful to your team. It allows your team to take space, to take positions. It's difficult for you to get verticality anyway. If your team all goes on cart, then yes, you leave. But it's something that you can always leverage.
Right. Is it always best for like a tracer or like a mobile character like her to be moving cart? Just because if a fight breaks out, they can get there quicker than like an Ana could.
If there are better positions to hold for your backline, then yes.
Okay.
If there are better positions to hold. But also, it depends on the situation. A lot of times, especially in ranked, people just park their butts on cart and not move. So then you're like, okay, well, I'm going to go do things.
Right.
This is great tracer play. Here's what you're doing. You're saying this side of the map is mine.
Right.
You're not allowed to take off angles over here. This room, you cannot come in this room. You also cannot drop from this angle here without me shooting you in the back. That's value.
Mm-hmm.
Is the Widow uncontested? Yes. Is there a reasonable way for you to reach the Widow? No. Do your job.
Right. And like by the time their tracer gets to me, she has to use a blinker too.
You got it. In fact, I don't even know why you backed off here. You still had your recall and the Mega beneath you. I know you were down blinks, but you completely dominated this tracer in the 1v1. So I don't know why you're disengaging. I think maybe you're thinking Roadhog, maybe sort of. But
yeah,
you need to go back and reestablish the angle again.
Right.
Now here, you go to cart. Maybe that was your strategy all along. But obviously that only makes sense if you're the only one on cart, because what ends up happening is then the Roadhog takes the space that you vacated and uses it. See this?
Right.
Is a Roadhog necessarily a primary target for you? No. But if he contests your angle, you contest him. Your tracer. You can contest anybody. Right?
Yeah, the space is my priority.
The space is your priority, exactly. That's where a lot of people mess up, right? A lot of tracer players, or a lot of just DPS players, will make two mistakes. They'll focus the tank, and then they'll choose, they'll just chase people all over with different angles. You should avoid shooting the tank if there's something else on your angle. But your biggest priority is just to have an angle, period, right?
Okay.
But if you end up shooting tank from your angle, and your angle is good, then shoot the tank. It's fine with me. Like right now, shoot the tank. But then go, okay, is there a better angle that I can take? Maybe go underneath and shoot the tracer. Or maybe go underneath and assault the Zen. Your choice.
Right.
A little bit of trigger discipline there was good. Obviously, it didn't necessarily pay off, but at least that idea is in your brain. It just needs a little bit of consistency of application.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We're cruising. Any questions so far?
No, I don't think so. Well, I guess maybe where should I be on Gibraltar 3rd? Because it feels pretty awkward to play.
Okay. You tell me.
I like the room to, I guess, where the left of the camera is. But their Tracer Destiny was holding that room over where she's at pretty hard. So I'm wondering if it's better to contest her there and then like clear the angles and then move up to that mini room.
Well, the way Overwatch works is it's lanes. This lane is also this lane, right?
Right.
Because if you win this lane, then you have clear staging to here, but then you have clear staging to here. Now, if you wanted instead to use this, that would also be fine, which then would allow you to do this, but this kind of sucks, right? So then this is where really the thought is taken out of positioning for the most part, and it's really just about your execution.
Okay.
You're right. You need to go beat the Tracer in this room at some point. And if you do, whether you get more resources or your mechanics are better or whatever, your timing's better, I don't know, then you could choose what to do from here. You could choose to shoot tank. You can choose to contest from here, or more likely, just deepen your angle and deepen your angle and deepen your angle and just live on this side of the room.
Yeah. I don't think either team could get it to cap third. I think we all struggled like here.
Your mistake here is twofold. One, you need to recognize that you have somebody in spawn, so your team is automatically at a disadvantage, so play carefully.
Right.
Your next mistake here is partially trigger discipline and partially just strict mechanics. You got out-clipped a little bit there. Okay?
Right.
Her blink movement, she stole the mega, kind of in trouble there. Then here, instead of recalling immediately, you delay in your recall and lose about 30, 40 HP. Which then means when the Reaper translocates, the Reaper teleports on top of you, you're feeling the pressure to actually drop and give up space when you should have instead been totally fine to just hold that space. Or disengage with more safety. Blizzard just crashed on me, so give me a second to restart. Make sense?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, biggest thing there is just that you were down your soldier, and so like obviously like actively taking space when you're down one, where they can stop you is risky business.
Right.
Okay, surely we're back. That's odd. I've only had that happen one other time in review.
I've been trying to watch more OWCS tracers play, and I guess one I keep coming back to is like Stalker, but a lot of people told me that his playstyle is very unique and aggressive compared to other tracers. So I was wondering if it's okay to continue watching him.
Sure.
Kind of glean what I can, or watch maybe like a more.
I would say look at everything. Look at everything. And what I would ask you to do is to try and consider the context with what they're looking at, right? Don't necessarily copy. Gain inspiration, and more importantly, ask yourself questions about why did they do that? Should they have done that? When would I want to do something like that?
Right.
Because you have to understand at this level of play, like they will interpret the rules within the context of the compositional mirror that they're given and have very specific rules. For example, if they're playing more of this Kiriko Lucio sort of stuff, there's going to be a lot of shooting tank from off angles and so on, because the backline is very difficult to assassinate, so it's more about passively holding angle and pressuring. But if you try to replicate that style into a Widowmaker Zenyatta composition, you're going to lose your head a lot. So gain inspiration and analyze their level of play, but don't copy it.
Okay.
You just need to be decisive here. Deal them or don't.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Your choice.
I can't see it.
Oh, click on my profile picture.
There we go.
Yeah. Restarting stream always means you have to reset it up. You're not really on an angle right now. You notice this? I know your wrist is dead, but so is the Reaper. What should you do?
Either come back to my team or go left earlier.
I'd set up your angle now. It's a 4v4. Set up the angle. What's going to happen when you go here? One of two things.
Tracer's going to follow maybe. And
then
maybe
Beater.
Reaper.
Right?
Or
Beater.
they'll let me take this for free.
Right? If they follow you, what's it going to mean for your team and choke?
One less person that they have to worry about shooting.
You got it. You're not creating space right now. This is not. You need to split their attention. Pull them apart, right? Because this is just wasting time on main, and that's why you die here. As the map constricts, it's not necessarily that your creativity has to be better, but you can't get discouraged when angles don't feel immediately rewarding. This right here is really important. It's good, honest work. Get her out. Good. Now you have a choice. Do you go back and deal with the Reaper, or do you deepen and take an angle on the Hawk? It's up to you. But you need to do it now. Nice. What's the mistake here?
Kind of just like blinking out into the open.
Partially.
Like blinking forward straight into her.
Do you have your recall?
No.
Who has the advantage in this duel?
She does.
What's your job?
Live.
That's it. Because your team, if they put resources into a recall-less tracer, if you live, which you should, then your team will be able to put pressure on main a lot easier. That's your responsibility. You still can hold the angle, but you can't hold it like that. That's silly. And that costs you this team fight. I'm moving through quickly here because I don't want to be repetitive. I want to be respectful of your time. I mean, this is just, you lost one immediately. You haven't had time to stage because you're dead. Go Winston.
I think early on and like even now, whenever I'm playing Tracer as opposed to like Sojourn, it's like I'm always in like go-go mode. As opposed
what
to
do you
like,
mean?
Like I'm always
pursuing high uptime?
Yeah.
Okay. Whenever there's a little bit of downtime, always be asking yourself, how can I be improving my positioning? There's a little bit of downtime right now. How can you be improving your positioning?
Kind of staging close to the Tracer. Or
sure.
I guess no, I'd probably still stay here because my monkey would probably just come back main anyway. And he does.
Okay.
But I shouldn't like be near that left side, and I just wasted 2 blinks getting back to where I was.
You got it.
10 seconds ago.
And your Widow is also getting literally like absolutely smoked as well, which is not helping. Okay. Let's get that. Okay. Any questions so far?
No.
Does this feel simple?
For the most part.
Okay. What doesn't feel simple?
Nothing yet. Most of it is I can like understand like what you're telling me.
Okay. Is this a good angle to hold?
No, they're just gonna shoot me main, and it's not.
So where should you go?
Either across from my monkey or up with my brig where they are.
Is this an angle?
It's an angle, but the rest of my team is there, so the whole enemy team's gonna be looking there as well.
So it's not an angle.
Right.
An angle is always contextual in where your team is, right?
Okay.
So it doesn't matter if it's an angle. Sometimes it's cart. Remember that. So where should you go? You talked about this being another option. That's great. Give me another
one. Either bottom left, right before the stair door, or bottom right, so the Widow can't see me.
Yeah, sure.
So,
heck, you could even just move your positioning to here and play with your Kiriko and wait within the turn from here. But yeah, I think this is a good, reasonable place to start.
Okay.
Tracer 76 into a Widowmaker? No, thank you. And obviously that goes predictably.
I think here I died.
I don't think you should second guess yourself, right? I know you're down one, so be cautious, but still hold the angle, right? Do you see what's numbers on the cart?
2.
What does that tell you?
That maybe Tracer comes alone, since I know the Widow's up top.
Yeah,
and
yeah. I mean, at the very least, it's something that you can play around with, right? This is not where you want to be. Where's your angle? See what I'm saying? Maybe if you could retake the space here and assault the Widow from here, like wait for your blinks. But this is what happens when you hover in the open. You leave yourself vulnerable to this. You need it to be on the angle. You need to be contesting and controlling space. What I'm encouraging you with is that there are a lot of difficult circumstances you're going to find yourself with as Tracer that will push you towards doing things that you should not do. The answer is always the same. Why are you not an off angle? You'll be like, oh, well, we're down one, or even when you're down your resources, you're still on the angle. You're just playing a little bit more conservatively, right?
Hmm.
Haha. A little bit risky to drop there, as long as you can retake it, though. That's fine. Oh, you. I wouldn't even shoot. What's the point, Just move.
Right.
I'm having a heart attack here. And frankly, here, even with your recall forced, I
Hold it.
Maybe try and hold it. Because the problem is that this is not necessarily safe. Right? This is the kind of stuff that you're going to be running into when you do blink back to the middle of your team, right?
Right.
And certainly, as quickly as you can, retake an angle. Where should you be? Improve your positioning.
Top right.
Top right. Go right up the stairs. Do it again. I don't give you the sights. Play it more cautiously. Play alert. Play to live. Play to dodge. Play to juke. But it would have been better if you had just died to the tracer here than what you've seen here. At least it would have cost more resources and more time and more attention.
Right.
Okay. Ooh. Trigger discipline, you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Painting the rainbow underneath your feet, not the way to go.
Yep.
Good. You shoot what you can shoot from the angle. Moira is never the first selection instead of a Zenyatta. But why was she the selection here?
Half health.
And? Who's closer?
Closer, yeah.
You can't reach Zen. You can reach Moira. So shoot the Moira. That's it.
Right.
Do you see how weird, so weirdly simple this thing is? I'm not saying that target choice does not influence the angles that you take, but when you are on the angle, target selection is largely irrelevant.
Right.
Use the target priority to educate your angles, but once you're on the angle, don't choose other targets unless you have a Zenyatta standing right next to the Moira, in which case choose a Zenyatta. Or you have a Roadhog and a Moira, in which case choose the Moira. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Choose the position, and then once you're there, you got to make your bed. You got to live with it. Nice job. Really nice fight for you. You took an angle, you shot what was there, and it worked. Where should you go? This is not an angle. Where should you go?
That left room.
Left room. Left room. You got it. If you'd had time to set up, you could have done the exact same thing here as well. If they dropped Tracer to cart and start pushing cart, what else could you do?
Go circle, keep high ground, but maybe see where my Genji's at. Or
you could.
B
You ready for
where
this
my
one?
Genji's at, or B where Briggs at.
Is cart an off angle right now? If they contest it.
Yes, because my team's
Yes, it
all
is.
high.
Your team's high, you contest. So if they push cart, you could also contest cart as well. But then if your team dropped to cart, where would you want to go?
Back high.
Back high. You got it. You kind of start seeing the poetry of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You nailed it. You're hovering here. Never hover. Always further. And now look what's happened. She's taking it for free.
Mm-hmm.
No resources, no nothing. Now she's levering cart. Now, honestly, you should drop to contest her because you're too late on this. And you need to be in a position, you should already have been marking that Tracer and or marking the Reaper and or shooting the Roadhog and or marking the Moira and or shooting the Zenyatta. But now you're setting up, getting caught with your pants down when it's too late to set up. You should be pressuring.
Right.
This is why pre-fight is everything with Tracer. I appreciate you doing this, though. You gave up the angle, but at least you're still contesting it. Good. I mean, this is trying to fix the problem that you created, right? And I at least appreciate that. What should you do here?
I can't really see where the rest of my team is at, but I imagine just keep my ground until I have to touch.
Keep your ground, right? Keep your ground. Maybe even consider rotating from here if you need a better angle. There it is. Now you're back on high. Now what?
Look for a pulse on Zen.
You got it. Okay. A little too far. The fight was probably lost either way. Good. If the enemy team has to funnel through this choke and this choke alone, they will lose this. They will not be able to cap.
Right.
I don't know how many resources you're going to get. I don't know how many resources they're going to give this tracer, but do the math. If you count more than one resource and while you get nothing, your job is to live. If it's even, your job is to kill. If it's an advantage where you get more resources than she does, then your advantage is your goal is definitely to kill.
Right. I think somebody explained that concept to me, but like in terms of blinks, they're like 0 to 2 blinks. You should probably be playing for cover.
Yep.
Like 2 to 4, you should be playing like kind of default, and then like more than 3.
Advantage, kill, disadvantage, live.
Right.
But it doesn't necessarily mean, I said live, not leave.
Yeah.
Which is important because what's happening here?
Just giving it up.
Right. What could you have done to live instead of leave?
Blink towards Mega Side.
Blink towards Mega Side, right? This direction, or even go up, right? Exactly. Keep him busy. Waste his time. Do not let him, like, it's a risky business, of course. Mm. But that's Tracer.
Right.
Because now can this Roadhog one-shot your Zenyatta? Yes, he can.
Yes.
He can. And certainly once you've known you've gone high, retake it here. Like what you've essentially done is you've filled his space, but the problem is that that's not fair to your team. Your team is on defense. You should have a positional advantage. Who has a positional advantage now?
Roadhog and Tracer.
It's kind of, do you see it's kind of, well, I wouldn't say that exactly. It's more 50-50, right? You have the angle, but they have the high ground. Like that shouldn't be like that. You should strictly have an advantage here, but you don't because you gave up the angle.
In a room behind Zen.
Exactly. That being said, I respect that you at least use the angle, but look at what happened when you gave the angle up.
Right. It must have been a crazy pulse. She was like high ground like 2 seconds ago.
This kind of ties into your question earlier about marking. Do you notice this? You notice that we didn't really say that, oh, you're playing Zenyatta, you should mark their Tracer. That wasn't really our approach. What was the approach?
It was what would be more beneficial for me.
Right.
Or
like, it was, this is your angle.
50-50.
Use it. Right. And then as soon as you see Roadhog and Tracer start to fight you for the angle, don't give up. Just play safe. Don't give up the angle entirely. Just play safe.
And it's like in this situation, I can't get to the Tracer, so this trading backlines is better. Exactly.
Let's create a theoretical scenario. This entire building is blown up, like atomic bomb, right? This thing is gone. Okay, very, very small atomic bomb. Okay. And the Roadhog Tracer are flanking your backline here. Is that your responsibility? Let's say they just walk in your backline from here while you're over here. Is that your responsibility?
Think so.
No,
There's
it's not
open space.
Remember, this is not the angle you chose, so that's not the angle you worry about. The only reason that the Roadhog Tracer were your problem here is because that was your angle.
Okay.
Your angle. So if you see this and you're like, oh crap, we're dying over there, guess what? They die over here.
Okay.
You trade. Okay? If they contest you for it, then you fight them for it, and you're better than them.
Right.
The only advantage that you have there on defense is the fact that you could get to choose which off angle you personally like or you feel is most important before the fight starts. Just like in the Gibraltar second defense.
Right. So I saw her walking towards right. Would it have been better to get into that room and mark her over there now that it's kind of...
Do you like this angle?
I think it's better for me than it is for her. Because my team's right there, and hers is most likely going to be main.
So what happens if she jukes you and she ignores you and she actually takes a position that you vacated? Can you do something with this position here?
No. Maybe if I got to the mega room, but even then, that's such a long walk.
I would say there's some stuff that you can do from here, but if your answer is no, then you should not mark your Tracer. Right. You should instead be like, okay, you can have that angle. I will have this angle. I will do a better job than you because my angle is better than yours.
Okay.
That's it. Remember, that's your luxury as defense is you get to choose which angle you start with.
It was weird the way she was playing because I was expecting her to come towards me this whole time, but she was just kind of blinking.
Well, she's cheating. She's cheating. She's cheating, which is a really risky business because look what she has to do. You see this?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, you could coach her exactly why this is an issue, right? Right?
Yeah.
She should have died, Even though she didn't die, she's recalled. And what about her positioning is improved? Nothing.
Right.
Our situation is not improved at all. Meanwhile, you... Obviously, the mistake there, peeking the Widow. And then
Twice.
Accidentally there, right? But you were in a phenomenal positioning to shoot tank, to shoot backline, to contest their tracer, and they have to deal with you.
Right.
Right? So it's an individual int from you, but your positional choice was good. And that's okay. I honestly just didn't think you thought the Widow could see you, right? I think it was just a goofy error.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, you wanted that one clip so badly.
Yeah. I get those now.
Surely. It's okay. It happens.
Yeah, she saw me the whole time. Like, she was looking at me all the way down at the bottom room when I was fighting Tracer.
And remember,
Just
you can use that. It's annoying, but you can use that because that means that your entire backline is smoking cigars and talking about the good old days because they're under so little pressure from the Widow. Like, I mean, come on. There's only one person that she can shoot from this angle.
Right.
And if you're aware of it, she does completely shut you down. You can still pepper and distract and harass while she's doing nothing.
Right.
Don't do it. Where should you go?
Left.
Left, wrap. Do the exact same thing, just wrap. Whoops. Good. 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 You're good. Don't go back. You
Right.
beat her. You beat her. You got the mini. You took half her HP. I don't care. Don't go back. Hold the angle. You know where Widow is. Don't do this. Don't do this. Keep her busy. Don't allow this Tracer to catch up on you and force your recall and then maybe go pulse your backline. Right?
Right.
If you're going to leave an angle, make sure that it's because you lost. Not because you just gave it away.
This is like painful to watch now.
We're disappointed a little bit there. Did you know she was low?
I didn't know she was low, but I knew she had a recall, so I was trying to force it.
I was going to say, I'm so confused. Like, yeah, okay, well, we take it.
I think I got like 2 melees in, so it's like 80 damage now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, if they contest you here, you could be a total ass here and just tickle and tickle and tickle. If you're like, oh, I can't peek the Widow, fine. 1 for 1, plus you get your 30 damage in your DPS passive on the tank, right? You might as well, right? Or if you want to try, like, see if can I rotate safely here. I mean, maybe it's kind of scary if the Zenyatta right click, but yeah, just keep shooting.
Passive is really tough against Zarya too, I think, just because it just doesn't have as much sustain. She's really easy target to hit.
Your only mistake here is you should have gotten the Mega. I can't believe you didn't get the Mega.
Okay.
Remember, she has to use the resources here, so you're already entering at an advantage. She's already down a blink. You needed to grab the Mega. Late on the recall, but it's fine. You can see again, like you being here first, like put you at an advantage in this fight. So you just screwed it up. But you notice, by the way, that even in your mistake, this Tracer with Pulse Bomb is a non-factor in this fight. And not only a non-factor, but she's not even able to take space because she's still low from her duel with you.
Right.
You see that? So if you're going to die on the hill. Die in the flank. Die preserving your team's safety.
So aside from me holding the Tracer, should I keep in mind like my team's composition and the enemy team's composition? Just because.
Okay, let's put it this way. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's actually, yeah, this fight's over. Okay, so let's pull it up. Let me just pull up whatever map it gives us. All right, Hollywood, great. Okay, Hollywood. You are playing Tracer, and you are defending the high ground. You are playing Zenyatta, Widow, Ana. Okay, on the high ground. They are playing Tracer. Do you want to mark payload here? To shoot and mark payload and stop cart from moving. Do you B, want to take an angle and shoot the tank from here? Or do you C, want to play kind of roaming on the floor, playing the angle to mark their Tracer so that your backline doesn't get harassed on the high ground?
Probably B, hold an angle and shoot tank. Or,
You can.
Because I don't think she's gonna have a chance to kill my backline on this
Why not?
map, at least if it's
Too
Zen
far.
on a Widow.
Too much space, right? Now it depends on the situation, right? What if they have a Sombra to help? You get what I'm
Then
saying?
it's probably beneficial because that's 2 of their team.
But this is a decision I want you to remember. This is a decision that you make before the fight starts. If you're thinking that Tracer is going to be getting to my backline, where is that Tracer going to get to your backline from?
Left.
Left.
Close to them.
So
Or
then
left, sorry.
you would play something like this, right?
Mhm.
Right? Somewhere on this lane here. And if that
Right.
Tracer takes the lane here and goes to blink to your high ground, you know what I don't want you to do 99.9% of the time? Why?
Because I'm just like out of resources and she has full resources.
You got it. So are you going to do a good job marking? Is that efficient use of your resources?
No.
No. So then instead, even though you have the more fragile backline, what should you do instead?
Take my angle. Exert my pressure.
You got it. You got it. Remember, the compositions and the map will educate you on which angle that you want to start with. But once you've made your bed, you have to lie in it. You have to lie in it. You do not second guess yourself mid-fight. Let's do it again. Let's restart the match. Pick another map. That is the same map. Lobby. Let's
And then a quick
choose.
question when it comes to like cheating, because I know that Tracer, you were like explaining to me that she was cheating through main.
Mhm.
Is there a beneficial time for her to cheat
You
as
tell me.
opposed to taking an angle?
You tell me.
Maybe if the angle's bad,
Sure.
or if my team is going fast, like say with like the
You're good.
Fox rush.
You'd prefer you to be on the angle to start with, the cut off, they're disengaged anyway, right? An angle is always better. But like, let's say there's a Widowmaker that's 1 HP, you just need to finish the kill really quick. Fine.
Right.
Cheating is appropriate when it's like you see an opportunity for a quick kill and then you're ratting
When
the game.
it's
Okay.
earned per se.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Roll out here. Where should you roll out? Kind of a broad
To the
question, right? Right? Okay. Their Tracer wraps around backline here. Do you follow?
No.
No. What if the Tracer marks you here? Are you happy with that?
Yes.
Okay, this is where things get really spicy. You ready for this one? This is going to
Yes.
break all conventional, old school Overwatch coaching, including stuff that I used to coach. They are running Zenyatta. That Tracer has Harmony Orb. You're running Moira Lucio. Do you avoid their Tracer because she has the Tracer duel advantage and instead try to find a different angle to reach?
No.
No, you don't. Why not?
She's getting resources pumped into her to
You got it.
attempt to push me off my angle.
So then what's your priority then?
Live.
Live.
Keep her at
Live.
bay.
Keep her busy and live as best as you possibly can so that what can your Moira Lucio do?
Move with my team and not have to like worry about like
That's it.
The
And not worry
super
about a
tracer.
distraction. You got it. You got it. Now, a lot of people would go, well, no, isn't your Moira Lucio like fine? Like, shouldn't they be like, isn't it okay for them to be harassed by a pocketed Tracer? And what's your answer?
I don't think so. I think
No.
Tracer has a much chance of killing them if she's has a orb.
Right. And remember, it's not just about the killing that we're concerned. What are we worried about?
They need to be looking forward. Both of them.
They need to be looking forward. That you don't want any distractions. Now,
Right.
optimally, if you had the time to set up ahead of time, what would you do? If you knew that you're going to run to a pocketed Tracer and they had a Zen Widow, what would you do ahead of time?
Ahead of time, I might have gone far left and like maybe broke out after the fight started. Maybe double blink towards Zen, get him weak.
Yeah,
Maybe
you see what I'm
Tracer
doing?
comes back.
You see what I'm saying? If you had the time to set that up, yeah, sure. If you have the time. But if you don't have the time, don't avoid that matchup. Because by avoiding it, you'll be giving them a free lane and wasting resources.
Right.
So this, you kind of see how this works, right?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions?
I guess map specific real quick. I noticed most tracers go right towards the mega side off spawn. Is there a reason for that?
This side here?
Is it just because everybody's fighting left? And so
Yeah,
both
it's
tracers
because
go
everyone's
right?
it's because everyone's fighting left. And a lot of what ends up happening is this is like where things get really, really meta game. This is why you have to be really careful about watching pro play. How many times have you played Tracer and gotten shot in the back by a flanker over here?
Not often.
Not often, but that does happen in pro play because what ended up happening is Tracer would take the angle here and they get shot in the back by a Tracer who had a mini advantage. You got me?
Right.
So then what ends up happening is the meta game evolves a little bit to where like the flankers fight here so they don't get shot in the back. Sometimes that's what happens, right? Now, is that exactly the only reason why you go here? Not really, but it is one of the reasons. So just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Take an angle, put yourself in the best position to win that angle. If you win that angle, or if there's nobody here, which is going to happen a lot, even in Masters, then deepen, and wrap around.
Okay.
Any other questions? That was a good one.
I noticed Stalker uses recall aggressively a lot, and some other tracers do too. Is it better to essentially set up for it as if I'm like diving by myself, like maybe put my recall in a safe position, commit blinks, and then if I don't get it within 3 seconds, recall?
Sure. More of it's a lower uptime playstyle, right? Where it's like, it's maybe not a higher, lower uptime playstyle, but more of like a cash out really quickly while you have the resources. Maybe get a one clip, get a lot of pressure, and then go back and play conservatively. But you need to be careful with that because that obviously means that you're now at a disadvantage in any duel you take. So if you're not being contested on an off angle, then yeah, sure, go for it. But if you are going aggressively for these clips and then recalling out, well, now you're not really in a position to win the 1v1 in this angle, which you might need to give it up.
Right. I think that's all the questions I have. And we're
okay.
10 minutes into your next session.
That's okay. Let's set some goals in. What do you need to practice? Make this simple.
Taking an angle and holding that angle, not
Take
just giving it up.
an angle and hold an angle between fights and during. Ask yourself, could I be bettering my position? What else?
Trigger discipline.
Okay. Trigger discipline is the micro one, of course. I feel like this more than anything. Oh, okay. So it would be comfortable. Well, you know what? You tell me. What stood out to you? What's a good thing to stick with?
Be comfortable being at a disadvantage.
Sure. Be comfortable at a disadvantage.
I guess just like knowing that it's not likely that I'm going to get a kill, so I might as well just live.
Play to live versus play to win. The Kepster principle. Did you see that video?
I watched it really late at night, so I'm probably not going to rewatch it.
Sure. But it talks a lot about basically similar stuff that we talked about as well.
Right.
Basically 2v1 versus 1v1 and understanding that. Okay. Anything else? Those are the big three.
I can't think of any.
Okay. Obviously, I'll have this sent to you, so if you want to rewatch it, you might pick up some other details.